Welcome to the video. Today I'm going to be unboxing a 30 volt, 10 amp, 300 watt power supply. Let's get into it. Starting off, we have the box. Now a quick disclaimer is I already opened it up and checked inside, so it will not be like it was brand new, but I'm still going to show you all the information about it. First off, we have the operation manual. That is very important for this kind of thing. And then a power cable, as well as some alligator clips. Now these aren't the greatest quality, so I would recommend buying much better clips, but they will do the job. And now for the big event. I'm just gonna set the box aside. All right, so the front is right there. Let's see how that looks. And the back as well. Okay, and there it is. Starting off at the back, we have where the power plugs into it right there. Now there is a 3 amp fuse in there just in case, and that can easily be pulled out and replaced. There is also a fan for some ventilation, as well as ventilation on either side to keep it cool. Now we get to the front. Now, in order to plug into this to get our power, there are these handy little clips right there, and these things will unscrew. Now, in order to put the alligator clips into it, I'm gonna undo the twisty tie cable, and I'm gonna take this and plug it into the power supply, and we should be good to go. However, we need to turn it on and figure out what these buttons do, how to adjust the power because it is a variable power supply, and see what features it has. One more thing I should mention is that as I'm giving it power, I need to be careful to flip this red switch from 230 volt to 115. All right, so I switched it. Now this is very important. If you're running it on a different voltage, like a 220 outlet, you will need to switch it to that setting. But if I'm using normal outlets in a home, those are going to be 110 volts, and so I need to put it on the right setting, or it could potentially damage the inside of this, or completely break it, or worse. Alright, before I plug it in, I need to make sure that the alligator clips are not touching each other, just in case it were to supply voltage. We would not want to short circuit it without knowing about it. And I also have to be careful because this is a metal table, so if I were to turn voltage on this and they were to both touch the table, it would short circuit it as well. I'm going to plug the power in now, set to the 115 volts, and it does have 10% of a buffer, so it doesn't have to be exactly 115 volts, it can be 110. Okay, so it's plugged in. Now to turn it on, I'm just gonna hit the on button right there. It made a beeping sound and the screen's turned on. I'm not gonna go into all of the ways you can control the voltage and amperage in this. I will say that there's a coarse adjustment knob right here, and then right below that is the fine adjustment. So that's for changing like 1 or 10 volts at a time, and the one below it is for 0.1 or 0.01 volts at a time. And for the amperage, it's also the same thing. And they also press in so you can change the settings and stuff like that. Now there's also a button down here for constant current, and I messed around with the settings with that a little bit, so you can either have it have the same voltage and then change the amperage, or have a constant amperage and then change the voltage. There's also a USB Type-C plug right there and a USB-A for maybe charging a mobile device or something like that, or just running tests. Some circuit boards and stuff like that have USB-C cables on them, but you need to supply a certain amount of voltage or amperage or something to charge it or something like that to provide power. Now that's pretty much it for the specs about this thing. Something I have noticed is that it makes a very high-pitched sound when it's on, but it doesn't annoy me that much. It is something to consider. If you happen to not hear high frequencies very much, then it really wouldn't affect you. That's pretty much it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing. It really helps me out. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.